The final ingredient to a pro vocal chain is reverb and delay, which will give your vocals space and life. Both of these types of effects are typically used as send effects. This means that we use these sends in our DAW to send the signal to auxiliary tracks that have reverb and delay on them. Sometimes these tracks are called return tracks as well. To set this up, simply add a return track in your DAW and load a reverb or delay plugin onto it. Then, we're going to set the input of the return track to a bus. In this case, we'll use bus 1. Now, after we set that up, we're going to go to our vocal track and use the FX sends to send the vocal signal to bus 1. When we turn up the send amount, we'll start to hear the reverb being added. And we can see that we are getting signal from our return track right here.
Am I being too selfish? What does my heart say? I'm being too reckless. Am I being too selfish? 'Cause the way you make my body feel, I can't help it. Oh, wow.
Now, depending on your preferences, you can certainly use reverb and delay plugins as inserts in the same way that you would a compressor or an EQ. And in this case, you can use the mix amount or wet-dry control to adjust the amount of reverb or delay. Now, the benefit of using sends is that you can send multiple tracks to the same reverb without having to load it across every single one of your tracks. So now that we've gone over how to work with send effects, let's look at some of the settings for reverb and delay that work well in a modern vocal. So we're going to start with reverb. Let's open up an instance of Verb Suite and first set our decay time. We want to make sure that we set the decay time dependent on the tempo of our song. For a faster paced song, we normally set a shorter time, and a slower song, we're going to want to set a longer time. Again, these are just starting points. Always listen in the context of your mix.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that I got needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you play?
Another great little tip is to adjust the pre-delay on Verb Suite. 10 milliseconds is usually a good starting point, but play around with it. A longer pre-delay will increase the clarity of the vocal.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that I got needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you play?
Now, when it comes to setting the proper reverb level, it is important to listen in the context of your mix. You're going to want to add enough reverb to give the vocal space, but not too much to make the mix muddy. Try starting with your send fader all the way down, and gradually boost it up until you get the amount of reverb that feels right.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that I got needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you play?
Next, let's set up a simple slap delay using repeater. Again, like with reverb, the length of the delay time is dependent on the tempo and pacing of your song. Our delay time for a slap delay is usually fast, between a 16th and a 64th note.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that I got needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you play? 'Cause I ain't got no time for it.
So in this case, a 16th note sounds great. Next, let's dial in our feedback. Feedback is how many repetitions of a delayed signal there will be.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that I got needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you play? 'Cause I ain't got no time for it.
So here's a great way to add some stereo image. We're going to turn on ping pong, and we can also change the spread modes here to either A or B. You can even combine these approaches for some cool effects.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that a guy needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you please? 'Cause I ain't got no time for it.
Now, a great way to give your reverb and delays some depth and separation is to add an EQ or a filter after them on a chain. We can use a high-pass filter to clean and brighten up the reverb, and we can use a low-pass filter to make it sound a little bit darker.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that a guy needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you please? 'Cause I ain't got no time for it.
Another way to EQ our delays and reverbs is to use the built-in EQs in Verb Suite and filters in Repeater.
Baby, I care too much. Baby, you ain't there enough. Maybe that's what got us in trouble, baby. So we gotta define what we gotta be. Is it really that bad that a guy needs? Can you give me just that, baby? Can you please? Baby, can you please? 'Cause I ain't got no time for it.
Use these tips as starting points, and don't be afraid to get creative with delays and reverbs. These two effects will add life and depth to your vocal mixes when applied correctly. And remember, a little goes a long way. If you want to get instant access to all of these incredible sounding tools that you're seeing in these videos and take your production quality to the next level, then join the Slate Digital All Access Pass. It has over $5,000 worth of award-winning plugins, the industry's most powerful new synth, Anna 2, which has tons of production-ready presets. There's royalty-free sample packs and masterclasses taught by legendary producers and engineers, all starting at just $9.99 per month.